It's time for our last real estate market update of 2020. Hey there, Christian Walsh, Coldwell Banker Wire Associates. We're real estate brokers based in Southern California who help tenants and landlords, buyers and sellers throughout California and beyond. And we are here with our last market update. Maybe you can tell by my hat that we're in December. We got a little Christmas decorating. We have a lot of ground to cover. We're going to show you the statistics and share what should typically go on this time of year. We're going to talk about what we're going to be watching into 2021. Of course, we're going to cover LA, Orange County, and Riverside home sales, and the same thing for multifamily. Then we're going to dive into foreclosure numbers for OC, LA, Riverside, and San Diego. And then we're going to end with a big thank you for an amazing year from all of you. So if you're ready, hit that like button and let's get this party started. We're going to talk about those things we're going to be watching going into 2021. So let's talk about some of the highs and some of the lows. And unfortunately, the highs are COVID-19. We're definitely on an upswing. California and the southern region shut down yet again. We have a new stay-at-home order that started December 6th. So we're back under stay-at-home order, unfortunately. And that meant a lot of job losses. So we've also seen an increase in unemployment numbers. We were going down for a while, but they have increased. The first-time claims for unemployment have increased to a high that we haven't seen since September. So unemployment is going up. Interest rates, those are going down. So with this week, we had another record low interest rate week. So at the same time we've got these record highs, we've got some record lows that are helping us. Another big thing in the market is the stimulus plan. Will we have one in December? I know that our elected officials are working hard to come up with something, but it may not happen in December. We may have to wait for January. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that need that help right now. One example in the state of California is those who are on the pandemic unemployment assistance. That expires December 26th. If no additional funds are put in place through a stimulus plan, that will affect 750,000 Californians. They will lose their benefits. That is a terrible way to spend the holidays, and we're very sorry to hear that. So we're hoping that our elected officials nationally can come up with a plan that works. Of course, we're following the non-payment of mortgages, and forbearances appear to be going up, and some of those plans will be expiring. So folks under the CARES Act were given 180 days. It could be extended another 180 days. So coming up in a few months here in March, where it'll have been a year that we've been dealing with the pandemic in California, some folks may be out of forbearance. So that's something we're watching closely. The other one is non-payment of rent. Of course, tenants are suffering and can't pay, which leads to landlords suffering because they're not getting the rent. Hopefully we'll find a national plan, a national stimulus plan that helps subsidize tenants and landlords so they can get back on track. We're continuing to watch this. December was a tough month. We did our usual can't pay rent for December video. We knew December would be tough. January, if we don't get a stimulus plan, January could be tough as well. So we got a close eye on non-payment of rent. In the state of California, AB 3088, which protects tenants for non-payment of rent due to COVID-19, expires at the end of January. So be on the lookout. There is talk in California's legislature of extending that protection for non-payment of rent due to COVID-19 for tenants. But landlords are going to need help as well, obviously, if that gets extended. And it is our middle of December update, and we are going to share those statistics with you in a silly hat. So here we go. Let's get through this. So we can see that there is a big month-over-month change from the first 2 weeks of November to the first 2 weeks of December, and there's some interesting patterns in that it doesn't seem like there is much of a pattern. The first 2 weeks of November were slower than the first 2 weeks of October across the board, and that's because of the election. So the election certainly slowed things down. In some cases we see, so the escrows are down month over month, new listings are way down. When you compare those escrows to new listings in Orange County, you can see this is why we have multiple offers. But look as you go to the past. So look as you go into the past and you'll see that year over year going back, this is very atypical this time of year. You can see that we are way up year over year and that this is still a hot December. And I will tell you anecdotally that my clients, when we're out there writing offers in the past couple of weeks, as we've been doing, you're still finding multiple offers, 9, 15 in one case, just crazy numbers of offers going on out there. It is still a very, very busy time of year in what normally is a slower time of year. So let's check some of the other areas. So Los Angeles, we have a similar tale. We see the closings, the actual sales are up, but those were October, November escrows. And we know those were way up because we were tracking those numbers and you saw those numbers with us. But you can see a similar tale where escrows and listings, very tight numbers. That means multiple offers in LA. Much tighter than it was back in November. And then you can see year over year again that things are way up. And Riverside, which has been an incredibly hot market, has a similar problem of not enough inventory. So the escrows are still up, month over month they're a little down, but year over year way up. And then new listings are much lower than new escrows. In fact, the new listings actually are low year over year. So not much inventory when you have a combination of lots of escrows with not much new inventory hitting the market. That's where you're getting multiple offers, and Riverside is very tough for buyers right now. And then we'll roll through multifamily. So here's what's interesting about multifamily. We've got OCLA and Riverside. You can see here that we're up a little bit with escrows. It actually is a record in Orange County year over year, but that's not a huge dramatic number. We're, like I've said in past videos, when we add up the numbers, which we're going to do here in a few weeks, when we add up the numbers for 2020, multifamily is not going to be a good year because we never made up for those lost sales. And single family may actually still be a very good year, if not a record year. We can see in LA that actually quite a few escrows in LA, but again, when you look at it year over year, not dramatic compared to some years in the past. 2017, 2016 had more. New listings are up in LA, and as we've talked about in LA, it's a tough market because in addition to AB 3088, they have an LA eviction moratorium. Riverside, similar numbers, actually fewer than Orange County as far as sales and escrows, but another case where they're not necessarily going to catch up to a record year in multifamily in anywhere in the counties we're covering. So we'll look at foreclosures, and no surprises here. Look at these numbers. Look how far down we are. This is for the month of November. We finally have those numbers. Takes a couple weeks for those to trickle in. But you can see, look at 2010 versus 2020. We had one go back to the bank. And we had 12 in LA, and then you can see here, San Diego, only 7. Compare these to 2010, only 7 in Riverside. You compare those numbers. So we are way behind on foreclosures. We got some catching up to do, and we are nowhere near 2008, 2009, 2010 levels. What we'll do, as we are going to do for single family, multifamily, we'll add up these numbers. We will see the final tally for the year. Our prediction, single family will match, if not exceed years past, could be a record year. Multifamily will be low. Foreclosures, we know for a fact, are dramatically low. But what we're going to do is look and see how low foreclosures are for the year, and we can extrapolate and figure out approximately how many we should get, and we'll see if those numbers are sufficient to cause any sort of large downturn in the market. You may have watched our How to Crash a Real Estate Market video where we talked about 2008. We'll have more content coming to see what it will take to crash a market. So I want to thank you for tuning in this year. This is our last market update of 2020. We got a lot more content coming in 2021. So thank you so much for all the support this year. We started out right around the pandemic start in March. We said, you know what, it's time to go all in on video. At the time, my son said, hey Dad, You only have 10 subscribers on YouTube. We are proud to report right now we have over 4,100. Thank you for all the support. There have been so many great comments and follow-up and feedback. I appreciate all of it. We're going to keep this content coming. Make sure you subscribe to our email newsletter. We'd be honored to have you. That's weekly and free, and we give you the data you see in this video, plus a whole lot more content. We'd love, of course, if you haven't, for you to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell. And then if you haven't yet, also make sure you hit the like button for this one. But thank you again for an amazing year. We wish you the best for this holiday season. I know it's tough for a lot of people out there, but we're gonna get through this. Hang in there. We truly appreciate you and want to thank you for an amazing year. This has been Christian Walsh, Coldwell Banker Wire Associates. We'll see you again soon.